once again Senators.
Hello, and thank you for joining us on another episode of Nass This Week, where we bring you a weekly recap of the most significant happenings in and around the Nigerian National Assembly. I am Ebresomi Sharon. Now in the House of Rep, the lawmaker representing Afikpo North-South Federal Constituency of Ebonyi State, Iduma Igariwe, has built 30 public toilets spread across the 23 wards of the constituency to tackle open defecation. He said the toilet facilities were provided to complement efforts of the federal and state governments to eradicate open defecation in the interest of public health. The Independent National Electoral Commission, Inec, has disqualified 21 of PDP's 40 House of Assembly candidates for the 2023 elections, leading to a disquiet among its members. According to a former deputy national chairman of the party, Olabode George, the commission said primary elections did not hold in Agege, Apapa, Badagry, Epe, Ibejuleki, Ikorodu, Lagos Island, Mushin, Ojo, and Surulere local government areas. The Niger Delta Caucus of the House of Representatives has called for the immediate resignation or sack of the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Umar Farouq, and her recent comments on the flooding situations in the country. She had, during a weekly ministerial briefing, described Jigawa State as the most affected state in the country, adding that Bayelsa State is not even among the top 10 states most affected by floods.
The minister's assumption is based on the following. 1, the number of deaths and displaced persons per state, the number of injured, the number of partially damaged houses, the number of totally damaged houses, the number of farmlands totally and partially damaged. Surprisingly, she put the number of persons injured in Bayelsa State at 81 and the number of deaths at 91. The minister is wrong, dead wrong. Reports from the Flood Management Committee and traditional rulers indicate that thousands are wounded and hundreds of our citizens died. In fact, even one dead person is enough for our country to show responsibility and sympathy to our people. The comments of the minister are at variance with the statement of the United Nations Resident and Humanitarian Coordinator in Nigeria, Mr. Matthias Smith, who declared Bayelsa a disaster zone. It is an undeniable fact that Bayelsa State is not only cut off from the rest of the country, but 80% of the landmass at peak of the flood was submerged, with over 70% of the inhabitants displaced as a result of the flood. It suffices to state that there are glaring evidence that has shown the world where the flood is worst hit in Nigeria. Testimonies from highly placed Nigerians who visited the state of the devastating effect of the flood. Even the cable news network and Al Jazeera on the 17th and 26th of October 2022 respectively aired it. The Shell Banabio gas gathering plant in Bayelsa State, a 1 billion standard cubic feet of gas and up to 70,000 barrels of crude oil per day, the largest in West Africa, was affected by the flood, necessitating the Nigerian liquefied natural gas plant at Bonny Island in Rivers State to declare a force majeure. It is therefore saddening to see a disaster being turned to the usual dirty politics of some public office holders, taking advantage of every situation to subjugate some regions of the country by telling blanted falsehood. As we speak, Bayelsa State is the only state that you cannot link by road to the western flank of Nigeria through Delta State and to the eastern flank of Nigeria through Rivers State.
Now we move to the Senate. The Senate Committee on Works has threatened to remove the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN, from benefiting from the annual federal budget, accusing it of being a conduit pipe for government money to be siphoned. This followed the inability of COREN's registrar to defend its utilization of the 2022 budget allocation and its achievements in the year under review. The Senate Committee on Special Duties on Monday decried 774 million naira earmarked as capital votes for the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, in the 2023 fiscal year. The committee headed by the Senator Yusuf A. Yusuf, representing Tarabal Central, frowned at the allocation in the face of the enormous emergency services NEMA has at hand to offer victims of flooded areas across the country. We have come to the end of today's episode of Nass This Week. Please do well to join us next week for another interesting episode.
Those against any